Good evening, Blackhawks. I'm Miss Morales. I'm one of our counselors here at La Quinta High School, here with my colleagues. If you guys could say hi. I'm going to go ahead and hide them for a minute and bring them on back in just a few minutes. But we wanted to welcome all of you here tonight. This is our presentation for the class of 2025 and 2026. And we wanted to be able to share tonight with you some really great information. So what we're going to be covering with you tonight is going to be a little bit of an opportunity to meet your counselors. We're going to quickly review the high school graduation requirements, get into four-year college requirements with A through G, and touch upon NCAA. And then we have one of our counselors who's prepared to present information on post-secondary options. And then really we want to focus with our 9th and 10th grade students on academic support. So what do we have here to offer our Blackhawks? How can they get involved? And how are we here to support them? So that's what we're doing. This is being recorded. So we're glad you're joining us live. If you're joining us live, you can use the comment section on YouTube and send us questions, and we'd be happy to answer those throughout the presentation. We also will make sure that we save some time tonight at the very end to answer any questions that come up throughout the presentation, or if you wait till the end to think of something. So we are here for you. This also will be recorded, and so you can view it on YouTube later in the evening, or we'll go ahead and post it on the website, and you can click and go to the La Quinta High School main website page, find us under counseling, and the video will be there as well. So just to get us started, a little reminder about what our mission here is La Quinta High School. Our vice principal, Nicola Gary, could not be here tonight. She wasn't feeling well, so on her behalf, I'm here to just share with you our mission. La Quinta High School is a culturally diverse community where we aim to provide, through a wide range of programs and opportunities, an academic, creative, social, and co-curricular environment that develops well-rounded, lifelong learners who are productive, ethical, and global citizens. So without further ado, let me introduce our presenters tonight. These are your La Quinta High School counselors, and I'll pull them up live as well. But to start off, we have Miss Giselle Chavero. Hi, Miss Chavero. We are divided up by last names here in the counseling department. So Miss Chavero oversees all students whose last names start with the letter A through the last name Seja. Then we have Miss Maribel Beltran. Hi, Miss Beltran. She oversees students whose last names start with C-E-K, so those three letters. And she has half of the Garcias up to the first names that start with the letter M. And then I step in. So I'm Miss Morales. I have students last name Garcia, first name N through the end of the alphabet, all the way up through L-I-M. And then let me bring up our other three wonderful counselors. We have Miss Elva Pena. Miss Pena oversees the students' last names L-I-N through N. We just really want to make sure you guys know who your contact person is for your students. Then we have Mr. Olachea. So Mr. Alfonso Olachea, last names O through S-A-M. So Sampson. And last but definitely not least, Mr. Antonio Rodriguez, who has last names S-A-N through the end of the alphabet. So if you do happen to have two students whose last names are a little different, you might have two different counselors that you need to contact, but rest assured, we can go ahead and answer questions for both of those students if they're general students. Otherwise, we want you to contact that particular student's counselor for specifics. So starting us off tonight, I'm going to bring up Ms. Chavero. And Ms. Chavero, you'll be presenting on graduation requirements, correct?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much, Ms. Morales, for a wonderful introduction. So today I'm going to talk a little bit more about high school requirements and what you guys need to take and make sure that you guys are passing them so you guys are able to graduate here at La Quinta High School. So this is pretty much the breakdown of what the requirements are for graduation. So you could see the breakdown. For example, for English, you would need 4 years of English. So that's going to be 40 credits. Social studies, you need 3 years, 30 credits, and so forth. You can also go on student view or parent view, and you guys can actually see the breakdown of it. If you ever wanted to contact your counselor as well, making sure that you guys are receiving all the classes that you guys need in order to graduate, make sure that you guys contact your counselor, and then making sure that you guys are on track. I also wanted to emphasize that financial aid, by the time you guys are seniors, you guys are going to start applying through financial aid. That's going to be a new requirement for graduation. So making sure that if you guys have any questions, please reach out to your counselor, and we're able to pretty much help you guys out and in that process. So altogether for graduation requirements, you guys are going to need 220 credits to graduate. Some students are going to have a little bit more. They may have more than 220 credits, but making sure you guys are at the 220 because you guys are responsible for fulfilling those 220 credits. And then the next up is going to be Mr. Olchea, who's going to talk a little bit more about the A through G requirements.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Olachea. I'm going to briefly go over the A through G requirements. So just to kind of review what the requirements meet or what they mean are for any students that are looking to apply to a four-year university, such as Cal State universities or California State universities or University of California's, which is our UCs. So anything from Cal State San Bernardino to Long Beach to UC Riverside to Berkeley. These are the requirements that students must meet to be eligible to apply. So they are very similar to our graduation requirements. The requirements are pretty much embedded in our A through G requirements, but they go as follows. So 2 years of social studies, students typically take world history and U.S. history for graduation. The 4 years of English is same as graduation requirements. Here, students are required to meet the 3 years of math. Now, there are some math classes that students have taken, such as foundations, that don't count as a math, as the A through G requirement. But as long as the student meets the math 2, math 3, and passes those with a C or better, and works with their counselor to make sure they get that third year of math in, that will work. So make sure, I think this is a tricky one. We always want to make sure students understand that, which 3 years count towards A through G, which ones do not. So if you have any questions, I'd highly recommend just, schedule an appointment with your counselor, review that, just get clarification there. Science, the 2 years, one must be a physical, one must be a life science. Here at La Quinta High School, every student takes biology their junior year and takes a science, chemistry sophomore year, as well as physics or geoscience their freshman year. So you definitely meet that requirement here. World language. So here, any world language that a student takes, in order to meet the requirement set by for the A through G, the language must be the same language. We cannot do 1 year of English or 1 year of Spanish and 1 year of French. They must be the same language, meeting at least level 2, and passing those with a C or better. 1 year of visual and performing art, so anything from choir to art to ceramics. And then we have our college prep electives. So any student taking a 4th year of math, a 3rd year of science, a 3rd year of world language, any of those. And we also have other college prep electives that students can take to meet that requirement. And just to remind everyone, these classes must be passed with a C or better in order to fulfill the A through G requirement, which is why summer school or Apex and after school, or repeating a class to get a grade of a C or better are opportunities that we have here, which we will cover later on. But I will hand this back over to Ms. Morales to cover the next portion.
Thank you so much. So we kind of talked about, I think Mr. Olachea covered everything that is here. Just a reminder, A through G requirements, it is a California college term, so things may differ slightly in other states, but pretty much California sets the standard. So if you're fulfilling A through G requirements, you're fulfilling the requirements at most other state schools across our nation. So you do want to research those and make sure, but your kids are in good hands with the A through G requirements. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about NCAA. This is not a comprehensive presentation for student athletes, but we want to make sure we highlight a few valuable points for those of our students that are playing sports and have aspirations of playing in the future. So it is really, really important that this process is started early. So 9th grade, 10th grade, this is the perfect time to be communicating with your counselor and your coaches, telling them that you have a desire to continue to play at a higher level. It's important that we know as counselors, NCAA requirements and NAIA, which are both of the overseeing bodies for college sports, they align very closely with A through G, but it's not the same. So NCAA requires students to take 10 core courses before their senior year, and those are in the subjects of English, social science, science, and foreign language. So they're just looking at those subjects, and we need to make sure our students are taking enough of those classes and getting Caesar better, because colleges are always going to want a student first, athletes second. They want to have that security that a student can do the work and remain eligible at their school. So that is a priority. The other thing that you should be doing in 9th and 10th grade is creating your accounts. So athletes need to register with NCAA. That's at ncaa.org. They start by creating a free profile account. But if you have any aspirations of going on a recruit trip, playing D1, D2, you need to take that a step further. And there is a registration fee for a one-time NCAA account. But you can't go on any official visits until you do that. So the sooner the better. NAIA also has their own institution. So NAIA typically is for the smaller private schools. That is their governing body for athletics. They have their own separate site. So if you're not sure where you want to go, I recommend registering for both. And then also planning to take your SATs. So SATs is not something required at the California colleges, with the UCs and Cal States anymore. That is put on hold, but NCAA still does require that. So they want to see those scores. This is a national organization. So students should take the practice SAT in 9th and 10th grade. We still are keeping a wait list for the October 15th date. So reach out to us and let us know if you want to be added to that. And then take the actual SAT in junior year and then again in senior year. So those are just a few highlights. Talk to us, tell us you're an athlete, let us know. And then by all means, you can always reach out to schools and tell them you're interested in playing. So put yourself out there. If you want to play, that'll give you a better chance to get recruited and have organizations looking at you. I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Ms. Pena and let her continue with us tonight.
Hi, everyone. So I'm super excited to talk about post-secondary options. Usually want to make sure that students remember that everything that we're doing at LQHS is to make sure that we're a full, well-rounded human being, as well as preparing for what's after high school. And so a big note is talking about, are we thinking of enrollment? Are we thinking of enlistment? Are we thinking of employment? And so highlighting what are next steps to really support us on our next ventures. So we'll be jumping over to our next slide to highlight the different types of education we have, the different pathways. And realistically, it's really important that students know you don't always have to pick one route. There's so many varieties of what you can do, different explorations, do it all that you're passionate about. It's just figuring out what our next steps are. And so right here, you'll see highlighted community colleges. We'll have different types of degrees, whether associates or transferring to a four-year university. Our local ones being California State Universities and University of California, along with additional opportunities like out-of-state and private schools. We do have the opportunity to meet different people within the military in regards to different branches, from Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Marines, Navy, Space Force, all and everything. And so we'll have a few events that you'll hear about in a little bit that'll highlight that, along with vocational and trade schools. So we're preparing to have the knowledge to do whichever step we're choosing next. And I know during office hours, we'll be doing some exploration. But in addition to that exploration, we'll get to see California colleges, a great resource that every student has access to. On californiacolleges.edu, every student is able, once they have registered, to log in through their student email. And so they'll have access to this program that'll help you from taking assessments to highlight what you're interested in, what you enjoy, what you like doing. Are you a hands-on person? Do you enjoy using technology? And see what professions would be wonderful for you, what education would be needed for that profession. And even putting in, there's a section for resume. So if you got an academic award because you received a high GPA, or if you received the biliteracy seal because you were taking multiple years of the same language and taking that AP test or IB test in that language. So definitely a great opportunity to put everything that you're learning in here to create your resume, or in the future to do some of your applications through California Colleges .edu. So great resource. I think this is wonderful for our 9th and 10th graders to explore and start off for what they'll do next with after high school.
It's an amazing website. There's a lot of resources in there and tools. It's really fun to play around in there. What I wanted to share, so 10th graders, for the most part, you guys all have accounts. You have active registered accounts that you've already logged into at some point last year. We made a point to make sure that all of you had that. 9th graders, it looks like last year, we've been really busy in the schools over the last couple of years, COVID and online learning, and you all have access. You're going to have to register. It takes 6 minutes total the first time you register. So here on this website, you'll see the little sign-in button at the very top. It says register your account. I know that's small, but all they're going to do is ask you your school email address, ask what your school district you belong to, and then you'll have access to all this great information. So we're going to be offering sessions using California Colleges in office hours, and we're going to talk about office hours in a second. But that's a great time. We want you to have access to all of these tools. So we'll make sure you can do this on your own, but we'll support those that need help too.
Absolutely. And then we're going to jump on over to academic supports with Ms. Beltran.
So hello everyone. So office hours, also known as Black Hawk Hour. So we're so excited for this school year because we will be holding Black Hawk Hour to help support student achievement. So the purpose of this great opportunity is to help students who are struggling in class or a subject matter. Students will be invited by their teacher on Monday, or students will be able to choose from a variety of classes, either academic or enrichment course. We encourage students to choose wisely. So if I'm struggling in math, of course, try to find support in math. So Black Hawk Hour will take place every week. It would be Wednesday and Thursday from 10:26 a.m. to 11:06. So we're super excited for this. This will definitely be of great support for our students that are struggling. Can you go to the next slide? We can skip that one, sorry. So can we skip to the next one? I'm sorry, we're gonna skip over grading periods because I thought it was really important that we talked about if for whatever reason you failed to get a D at the end of the semester, you will have the opportunity to recover credits in summer school. For 9th and 10th grade students, you will be able to recover up to 10 credits. Please keep in mind that course offerings may vary. So it is always dependent on staffing availability and also, the amount of students that we enroll in summer school. Can we go back now to the grading periods? Sorry, which is why we should stay on top of grading periods. Parents and students, please pay attention to progress reports release dates. If you see here on the screen, we give you the dates or the months for when these are supposed to be out. These are extremely important because it tells you how well the students are doing. This gives students opportunities to correct study habits, to modify their behaviors, and make other changes to keep themselves on a more positive academic course. You can access progress reports through Parent View under Documents, and I believe it's on the bottom of that whole list in Parent View. So this is why it's super important. Can you go to the next one so they can look at the next grading period? Yeah. So we can give you, this is going to be posted on the website so that you are aware of when, release dates for progress reports will, take place. And now with Mr. Rodriguez with important information on how to get involved.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. In addition to being A through G and graduation ready, we want the student to be a well-rounded student. So how can a student do that? We want the students to be involved in different things such as clubs. You can do any, CSF is a great club, MECHA, and other organizations here on campus. In addition to that, we also have athletics. Any sport that your student may be interested in playing, we have it here just depending on the season. Also, you can be well-rounded via campus events, may it be going to games, field trips, workshops, or anything that the school is offering. Also, I always stress the importance of being involved in the community, whether you're coaching at the AYSO league, at the park across the street, or you're helping at the church or the Boys and Girls Club, or even the local Y. We want the students to be out there and helping the community grow. Another great thing to do is to work and do some internships via the academies that we have that. I know MHA, ICTA, and the other academies on campus do have various internship opportunities for our seniors here on campus. If I may get the next slide, please. And for the upcoming events, this Thursday, October 6th, we're going to be hosting, not us ourselves, but in the Coachella Valley, we will have a Coachella Valley Regional College and Career Fair. It's going to be taking place at the Agua Caliente Resort in Rancho Mirage from 6 to 8 p.m. We stress the importance of going to this because it's a great opportunity to talk to over 50 different representatives from universities, local colleges, and even the armed forces. On Wednesday, October 12th, we will have our military showcase here on campus. We will be hosting the PSAT on October 15th as well here on campus. For those of you that received the email and signed up, your children should be signed up for that and will be taking that test. Also, on the 18th of October, which is a Tuesday, we will be hosting our yearly college and career kickoff. We're going to have different events here, presentations here on campus. Also, want to stress the importance of the ASVAB. The ASVAB is a great tool, a great assessment tool to use for your students to see their strengths and also future careers they might be interested in going into. That's going to take place December 6th here on campus, and it's recommended for 10th to 12th graders. So thank you for your time, and now back to Ms. Morales.
Mr. Rodriguez, I actually have a question. So
Yes.
A lot of times we get that students in 9th and 10th grade are thinking maybe it's too early to attend like a college or career fair. We have the Agua Caliente event, and I believe the start time is 4 o'clock.
Correct.
That opens up. So it's actually, it works better for you to go earlier. You can go earlier. So just to go ahead and note that. But what do you think? Is it too early if I'm a 9th or 10th grader to go to these?
No, it's never too early. And in fact, we're going to be having our neighboring middle schools attend as well. So that's why it's starting at 4 o'clock, because they're going to be having a pep rally in the auditorium. So the middle school students are going to be there. So if you're thinking, well, it's too early for my freshman or sophomore to be talking about that, it's never too early because we are starting as early as 6th grade. So it is a great opportunity to expose your students to this type of community.
Yeah, I took a peek at the list of schools that are going to be there. And for those of you that are interested, basically all of the UC campuses, so the 9 UCs will be present at that event. And the people you're talking to, you are actually meeting admissions counselors. So they are the ones that look at applications. So they know their programs, they know what they're looking for, and it's a great opportunity. A great number of the Cal States will be there. And then there are some pretty big name employers that were going to be there. So I know like the Hyatt Regency will be there. Did you catch any of the other ones? Because I was pretty excited when I went through that list.
Well, I was overseeing all the schools and everything, so I was excited that UC Berkeley and the neighboring schools were going to be present. So
yeah, it's
going
really
to be a great event.
And just as many vocational programs and careers as there are great universities that will be there this Thursday night. So families, if you can get over there, or if you can hop on with a friend and carpool over, that's a great opportunity. We did fill 2 buses of students, so that was a chance that they had. And if you absolutely can't make it, make sure during lunch on October 18th that you're coming into the gym, because we've invited a lot of the local schools and local vocational programs. Oh, my lights go off. To come join us on campus. So they'll be here and have that opportunity as well. It just won't be as large scale. So I believe that's all of the slides that we wanted to cover with you guys tonight. I haven't seen very many questions in the chat box. So I'm going to bring up my counselors. And
So I know that Ms. Pena wanted to point out or highlight that the ninth grade situation. So Ms. Pena, do you want to talk about that since you
Yes. So we just want to highlight for ninth graders right now, this is a really big year in regards to, yes, our academics and our attendance, one, just in general, but also in preparation for spring applications for students who are interested in Public Service Academy, the Medical Health Academy, any other programs, PEs, or physical education courses are going to be showing you types of programs will be open to you coming into your 10th grade year. So definitely making sure that we're on top of our attendance, we're on top of our academics, so that we're well prepared for those applications and those interviews. And then likewise for 10th grade students, really preparing if we're interested in our HVAC or auto programs, preparing that we're passing our courses, that we're getting the support that we need, so that that opportunity for our 11th and 12th grade year, we'll have that option as an elective, but also the opportunity to get to have some certification before we even graduate high school. So things to look at. I think a big important part from this presentation is make sure that we're having plans, make sure that we're having goals, and that we're having every opportunity available to us by keeping ourselves on track, grade-wise, attendance, and using our resources.
so I know one of the questions that I've been getting from families via email is, do we have tutoring? And the answer to that is right now, all of the teachers offer support. It just depends on that individual teacher. So first and foremost, if your student is struggling in a class, we want to encourage them to go directly to the source first, have a conversation with the teacher, ask them, what do I need to do to excel better in this class? And you as the parent, if you are out there watching, you can follow up with a direct email to that teacher and then ask them, when can my son or daughter come in? Blackhawk Hour, that's why we're all so excited about it, because it's built in time during the school day. That's on Wednesdays and Thursdays. But we have some amazing Blackhawk teachers and staff here that still see students a little bit before school or during lunch. And that kind of varies because they're doing it on their time. But we want to be here to support your kids. And there's also still the FEV online tutoring. So in Student View, there is a tab. It says FEV tutoring, and the students can access online support to work on homework from home. So that's available 24 hours a day. And if they've never used it before, it's real easy to log in. They can type in that they're having issues with math, type in the problem, and someone will be on the other end to help work that out. So those are just a couple suggestions. But as the counselor, I always direct families and students first to have a conversation with their teacher, and then we can go from there. And I think that's really, really important to share tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. I think that's super good that parents know about that. I also have been getting some questions in regards to when can I start taking concurrent enrollment at COD? So as early as ninth grade year, you can start taking courses at COD. So please take advantage of that. Dual enrollment right now, we're only offering through our pathways. So if you're in PSA and IT, you can definitely, take advantage of that. But something else that I wanted to point out. So students have asked me, how do I make sure that I graduate in white? And some students are like, well, I wish I would have known that 9th and 10th grade year. Well, we're here and now we're going to tell you about it. So graduation in white. So in order for you to graduate in white, you will need a cumulative grade point average GPA of a 4.0 for 7 consecutive semesters, and that is including your fall senior year in semester. So in other words, beginning your fall semester of your freshman year through the fall semester of your senior year. We will use your weighted GPA, which is based on that 0 to 5.0 scale, in which your grades in honors, AP and IB courses are weighted higher. So pay attention to that. So if you end at, if at the end of your first semester, you do not have a 4.0, that already disqualifies you, for graduation in white. I just wanted to make sure that you knew about that, because that's huge.
We do have a question in the chat, and this is there a list of different levels of classes the students can choose from each year? Does anyone else want to answer that?
I can. We meet with our students every spring. And so when we're selecting the courses, we'll have the updated list for the coming year in regards to what classes, what programs are available. So it'll be a part of our spring discussion. And I know parents really want to get involved with it. So it's a great conversation. Just keep an eye out around March. That's when we'll be talking to our 9th and 10th graders in regards to their next level. And they'll have the most updated schedule in regards to courses. And then I also see a question there in regards to connecting with the counselor, reviewing requirements, especially if with the language, if we're in, say, Spanish 2. And so that's a really good conversation to have with a counselor. We can look into what would be the next class or what the goals are of the student to have that full-on conversation. I would definitely say connect with your school counselor, and then we can have that layout in regards to what's our next classes, what's our goal, are we looking for that biliteracy seal to be in the language for more than the minimum of 2 years. So a great conversation. I would say reach out to our school counselor. We can have that one-on-one.
But I think that's a good idea. I'm glad that the parent brought it up. We will definitely make sure that those courses are on our website, maybe prior to March, and kids making course selections so they can talk to you about it before choosing courses for next school year. So thank you for that, whoever asked that question.
Yeah, in general, we have a lot of advanced placement, well, not advanced placement per se, but a lot of honors level courses for 9th and 10th grade. And then we have a lot of IB courses. Our IB classes are going to be our more rigorous courses in 11th and 12th grade. So when you do hear us referring to IB, that's what we're referring to. We have a couple AP advanced placement courses that we offer here, but we are an IB World School. And so if students are looking to challenge themselves, really that's kind of the direction that they should be going, is looking at mastering the college prep level classes, looking at areas where they excel and starting to challenge themselves in honors level courses, and seeing how well they can do and continuing to build on that. And that's what the schools are looking for too. This is a student that is taking on more and more responsibility. They're taking a risk and challenging themselves and doing that in a responsible way. Yeah, that's a really good question. Will there be technical schools at the College Career Fair? So yes, there'll be technical schools at both fairs we talked about. So Agua Caliente, there were a number of technical schools. UTI was on that list. Maybe if any of my colleagues are in their email, I can pull up that Agua Caliente email, and we can list a couple of names. But for our fair that we're hosting on the 18th, that was a really big focus for us as counselors, wanting to make sure that our students knew what was available in the local valley. So we have Job Corps coming. We have I believe it's UTI. Coachella Valley Beauty College will be here. Elite Cosmetology School. Anybody else want to step in? Because I'm kind of blanking on some names, but I can pull that email up. Yeah, that was a primary focus for us. It's just making sure they know everything that's out there, not just four-year college for everybody. But we know our students have different interests, and there's great opportunities for vocations, especially I saw HVAC and heating, air conditioning, electrical mentioned in the comments.
Yeah, but I think definitely take advantage of that. You will find that there will be so many different schools that you probably didn't even know about. So please take advantage of that. And thank you. I think do we have any other questions?
No, I think that about wraps it up. We are available to you. We really want to support your students in being successful. So please, you saw our emails at the beginning. It's posted on our website under counseling department. So you'll see all of our direct emails there. There's also a link to request an appointment with us. And old school, you can always call the office too, and we'll be here to answer you. But we really appreciate you joining us, and we hope you'll share with your friends and colleagues and peers and have them view after the fact as well so that they get some of the information too. Have a great night, Blackhawks.